Hi, I received the Soliom Smart Hummingbird feeder. It has a camera. Model is BF06. Apparently this is an updated version of this Hummingbird feeder camera. It has a 2K resolution. So there's an app with real-time notifications, so you can watch live when there's a hummingbird at your feeder. The built-in battery, there's a lithium battery, and there is a solar panel. It does have two-way talk. I probably won't use that feature. There's cloud storage. You can attach it to a pole instead of just hanging it so that it's non-moving, it's more stable. There's also an ant guard, which is really important to me here in Texas because, boy, we have ant problems here. It's really hard to stay on top of them, too. So the camera itself is removable from the bird feeder, and here's a solar panel. But the bird feeder itself, apparently you take the bottom off and fill it from the bottom. So that's kind of interesting to me. So when we get in there, we'll have a look at it. I just rehung one of our traditional hummingbird feeders with some new hummingbird food. And I will put this on my front porch and put this feeder here because the backyard's more private for a camera. So the first thing I see in there is a business card. Then we have a quick start guide, formal user manual, packaged very well. Looks like it also comes with a cleaning tool, which is great. I can really use that. Oh, yeah. You turn it upside down to add the nectar from the bottom. Okay, this white box contains a solar panel and some other things. Purchase hummingbird attractant flowers, charge cable, and this is just the cable that goes to the solar panel to the camera. So this may be for an initial charge of the camera. So this is what I see when I'm opening everything. Okay, there's some hardware. This is for the ant moat. It's the back of the camera. Looks really nice. I really like it. For some reason, when I looked at the pictures, I felt like it would be kind of not as sturdy as it is, but the plastic, everything is like super sturdy. This is not like thin, cheap stuff, which is good because it'll last longer in the sun here. So the camera includes a quick start guide, and the initial thing to do to set the camera up is to charge it. So the camera is currently charging. This is what the light looks like while it's charging. All right, so we've got the green light now. It's all charged up and we're ready to put it together and put some hummingbird food in and hang this up outside. I am going to get the Soliom Pro app right now and register my account. Just going to show the instructions, and you can pause and look at these if you feel the need to. I did screen record the setup in the app, and I'll show you that in a few moments. I'm also going to put a micro SD in the camera. At the top, this plug here just opens. You can see the on button is right here. I'm just going to put that micro SD card in. So the micro SD card is in. Oh, I just turned it on. It makes a noise. All right, so it is searching for the app right now. So you need to go ahead and get the Soliom Pro app. And you can just go ahead and follow the directions, and if you want to change anything you initially set it up as, you can do that as well later, like if you decide that you do not want to receive notifications, for example.
We're almost in the app now. What you want to do is put a username in and your email. And then keep following the instructions on the screen. It's really easy to set up. It guides you every step of the way. A verification code is sent to you and then you enter it. You set a password. You confirm the password. We are registered. You are plugged in during this time now. You're going to add your local network, your Wi-Fi. We are connected. You choose a name, a location name for your camera, a name and location. So I chose Hummingbird feeder and garden eventually here. Hummingbird feeder cam. You can choose how you want the camera powered, plug it in, solar panel or battery. Gives you some information on setting the camera up. And we are in. You can get a 30-day cloud storage for free. This is just some information. We'd had to do a firmware update. This did take probably like 10 minutes, so I just sped it up. Then once the firmware update was done, I got in and I started setting the settings. I kept the alarms off. When I get a subject in front of the camera, I do not want an alarm to go on. I did change the night vision to color, so that white flashes on at night. I formatted the SD card. The indicator light does light up when there's a subject in front of the camera, but you can turn that off. You can set the alarm volume or voice volume. A lot of these I left as the original settings, except I put the camera on 2K video. Here's some initial video when I was setting up the camera. You can press the home button for a live video feed. If you do want to view from the library, you can view from the cloud or the micro SD card.
The camera itself is set up in the app. I need to put this camera together, then get this camera outside. So this bottom piece here, you just turn it to open it. So after you turn it, it clicks, and then you can remove this part of the feeder. So when you have food in there, the food is going to be in this part because you're going to fill it upside down. So the top twists off, and then the feeder's like this. It has a silicone seal here, and then when the feeder is filled, you put it upside down, and then you're going to have to reattach this before you flip it over, obviously. And then this part's going to fill in here, and the hummingbirds are going to drink out of their little ports, flower ports. Here is a bag with port replacements and different colors if you prefer. This is the pole holder. So you would set this on the pole, and then this would sit like that on top of the pole. It's a really good idea. Then the camera is not moving at all, and the feeder is stable. So as you can see in this picture, you put one of the hooks into the moat. The last thing we're going to do when we have the camera out is add a little water in here. So then the other hook goes in the bottom, and you're going to hang it like that. So I thought I'd just put the camera and feeder totally together so I know what I'm dealing with here before I fill it. You can decide whether you want to share your camera with others. So there is device sharing, AI recognition
for the different bird types. There will be a fee for this service, but that is after a 30-day free trial plan. And there's also a package for cloud storage if you need that. Looks like you need it to have the AI recognition package. So they include a recipe for making your own hummingbird nectar. And I already have this mixed up. I mixed some up yesterday actually. I needed to look at this. So make sure the top of the feeder is on tightly. Don't remove it. So I thought I could remove it and flip it over onto a flat surface. It doesn't look like you can. Then you rotate the bottom like I showed you to open the feeder base. So that pointed top is on. Hold the feeder body down to keep it upside down. Fill with the nectar. It says maximum capacity is 20 ounces. And then put the feeder base on and adjust until it fits. Tighten it clockwise. Flip the feeder and keep it in the right direction to avoid leakage. I'm going to flip back toward the antenna that way when you flip it. I guess so it doesn't drip out the front. Right here, you don't want it to drip where the, right here, where the hummingbirds are going to feed out of. So since we're going to hang the feeder on a hook, you fill the ant moat with water just after. But if you are putting it on a pole, you're going to put that one piece here on the pole, this piece, and then you're going to fill the moat when it's on the pole and then add the feeder to it. So I'm going to go ahead and just fill the feeder. It might take me a minute to hang that solar panel because it looks like I have to go get a ladder. So I'm going to fill the feeder and then go ahead and hang it and fill the ant moat. So I have plain water and I'm just going to add it to the ant moat. So I did that. I'll just hang that up first. There we go. My hummingbird food right here. It feels so odd to me filling it up upside down like this. It's tight, I have it all together, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it in. So 20 ounces was the maximum, that's 2.5 cups. I might just put a little bit less in. Maybe that measuring cup is a wee bit over 20 ounces, but maybe about there. Okay, so I have it. It clicked on the top, and we're gonna not tilt it the way of my hand. We're going to tilt it the way of the antenna. Here we go. Okay. Not sure why I see a little bit of moisture, but all right, I'm going to turn it on. There it is. We should be all set. All right, that actually looks really good. Unfortunately, I am dealing with an air conditioner right here, so it's a little loud, but we should still get some video with sound between the air conditioner. So I turned the camera around. I've already seen a hummingbird come in, and she left right away when she realized I was right here by the camera, by the feeder. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in. So I ended up finding well, the first pole I found was too big. So I found a wooden pole, like off a broom or something that we had laying around. And I filled that ant moat up with water. And I put that little screw in there to hold it down. So when I moved the camera, I shut it off and turn it back on. When you turn it on, it initially goes into SD video. So the first videos are SD video instead of 2K video. Later, I moved the camera because I have an issue with ants. Unfortunately, I did not get any hummingbird shots until the following day that it was on the pole. And the ants were totally invading because the water had already dried up, but I wasn't aware that it was dried up already. So I do remove this feeder from a pole after a couple days, and then I will show some 2K video. And this pole was way too high for me to keep the camera in this spot and have to be filling an ant moat every other day. So I just couldn't do it. I need to be able to access that ant moat, or it needs to be a bit bigger. And it was over 100 degrees while this feeder was on that pole, Texas heat. So the water evaporated real quick. I noticed that at the beginning of some of these clips that are in SD, that there's a white flash at the beginning of the clip. I don't know if that's the way the video is processed or what, but this is not occurring in the video that's 2K in the same way. So I did not crop these clips in the beginning in any way so that you could see what's going on with that flash. And it could just be the direction the camera is facing the sun, that the camera is needing to adjust at the beginning of each clip for lighting conditions. Okay, that mess of ants and the camera is now clean. Fresh food has been put in. Let's see some 2K video. So you'll still see a bit of that white flash at the beginning of each video clip when the setting is in 2K, and also a little bit of pixelation in the beginning of each video clip. The audio on those birds' wings was excellent. So there may be a few clips with some interference as far as audio goes because of the air conditioning unit that's close by, but I turned it off for certain portions of the day so that I could get some nice clips and hear the audio. Okay, I'll share some pros that I found while working with this camera. I think the camera is well made. It's easy to set up and take apart for cleaning. The app has lots of great features that you can adjust and work with. It connects easily to my Wi-Fi. It has great 2K video. The audio picks up fairly well. The solar panel is a good option. I tested the camera actually without the solar panel and used the internal battery only that I had charged in the house. You can recharge the battery in the house every few weeks or so, or even monthly if you don't have a lot of visitors to your feeder. The adapter for the pole is a plus so that the feeder movement is not captured and you're not getting extra clips because of that. The ant moat works well when there's water in it. The optional cloud storage plans are available, or you could just use the SD card. I'm going to discuss some cons I found while using this camera. The video is only in 15 frames per second. It could be a higher frame rate for faster movements, especially hummingbird wings. The feeder moves too much when it's hanging. The ant moat seems to make it move more, but you really do need it, especially here where I am. We have a lot of ants. So I had a lot of false triggers. There is white flashes at the beginning of the clips, especially the SD clips, the standard definition. Audio can sound noisy, like static at the beginning of some of the clips and at times during. There is an adjustment that you can set the sensitivity that the camera will trigger on low, medium, or high. I did have it on medium. I could put it on low, but wind isn't going to change that problem of getting the false triggers when using the camera. Also, you can set the camera to go on and record in intervals. Like I have it on 1 minute, but if there's movement, but you could put it closer, farther away. But if it's further distance apart, you risk losing a lot of viewing of your birds. So there is a sleep timer that you can set. So what I decided to do was my birds, mostly I'm seeing them, not all the time during the day, but mostly I'm seeing the hummingbirds in the morning early and in the evening early. So I set my sleep timer for the middle portion of the day so that I don't have to go through all those false triggers and delete them. So here's a screen recording that I did of setting that camera sleep timer. You hit motion detection and you're just going to go in and follow it and put your times in that you want the camera to sleep. So I chose 11:30 to 1800. Overall, I really like this camera, although there could be a few improvements like the frames per second. The camera is really great. I found it really interesting to be able to see and hear the hummingbirds up close. I was also very surprised that other birds would come to this feeder and try to get a drink of the nectar. Let me know how you feel about this camera, and if you already own this camera, let me know how it's working out for you. Thanks for watching.